Now we're on to the physiology, why we sprint. And actually, I went down and spent some time with Mike Shannon at the Olympic Training Center a couple times, once earlier this week and a couple weeks ago as well, because I wanted to make sure that I fully understood this and nailed this before I presented it to you guys. So I tweaked a little bit of it, kind of got me up to date as to what they're doing there and why they're doing it. Most of what we already do and think of falls in line with what they do. We just had to make a couple little adjustments in the way that we've presented things in the past. So aerobic capacity is enhanced by pushing the envelope of the maximum aerobic process of the body. So doing so will increase the aerobic capacity of the body. The result is a higher capacity for the absorption of oxygen by the blood, and also an increase in the delivery system, essentially the blood vessels, for carrying food or oxygen to the muscles and carrying away waste. So basically, by pushing, right, obviously pushing that aerobic envelope, getting it to recover and then build new and respond, getting it to improve, what that does is it makes you more efficient as a machine. Right? If you think of yourself as a living machine, you are going through your processes that much more efficiently. So you're carrying more nutrition, so more oxygen, more nutrition at a faster rate to wherever it needs to be, wherever muscles are working. And then at the same time, those muscles that are releasing waste, that's being pulled away and processed that much faster. It's a common basic physiology. I think everybody agrees to that, right? Okay. When the aerobic capacity is, quote, maxed out, and in reality you can never max out the aerobic capacity. So that's why that's in quotes. Like you can never get to a terminal point where you can no longer go. Like there's different, what you'll do is you'll just go into different physiological processes.
You have a heart attack.
Yeah, you can die. It's not the only way it's going to stop. Bigger efforts require tapping into type 2 muscles. So that's why you can't max it out. So if you're in an aerobic process, right, you're using your long distance, your slow twitch muscle fibers. When they become essentially overwhelmed, you fall back on your fast twitch. So even though fast twitch are only meant to be used, right, ideally, you think, or if you've ever learned any of this, fast twitch only for power and speed and sprinting, slow twitch for endurance, and right. When these become overwhelmed, these help out, right? So that's basically what we're talking about. We're talking about getting good and efficient at these working together, right? These needing to be used later, and then when they are used, being used more efficiently. Okay. So, techniques to increase aerobic capacity involve exercise at the anaerobic threshold. So what this consists of interval training, which stimulates greater physiological adaptation than continuous or steady state training. So this training helping to improve endurance capacity, which some of you will recognize as VO2 max, and aerobic performance capacity. So when you get to that point where now you've got to recruit both, you get better at using both, which means you get to that point later and later, right? The more you get up to that threshold, the further you push that threshold. You've heard of kind of like breaking through the wall, push up to that point. Caveat to that is whenever you push up to that point, you have to allow all of your systems enough time to recover before you push to that point again. So that may be enough recovery time within the workout, that may be enough recovery time between workouts. But pushing that envelope pushes that barrier back further every time. So the more you do that, the more often you do that, as long as you're fully recovered when you do it the next time, you can keep pushing it back. Obviously within your own genetic parameters, right? We all are allotted a certain amount of genetic giftedness, but if you're within those parameters, you can just keep pushing until you do get that maxed out point.